Song of Solomon was written by Solomon about 970 to 950 BC in the early years of Solomon's reign. It is the 22nd book of the Old Testament and the fifth and last book of poetry and wisdom. It is sometimes called Canticles, which means series of songs. The key word is, no doubt, love, and it describes the love between a man and a woman in the marriage relationship. The Jews have thought that this typifies or represents God's love for His people. This may or may not be true as we study the book. The main characters in the song are, first of all, Solomon, who we know was the third king of Israel. The second character is the Shulamite woman who was to become Solomon's bride. She was probably called Shulamite because she came from a place called Shunem in northern Israel. Then there was the daughters of Jerusalem. Who were they? Maybe they were the companions of the bride, or maybe the attendants of the king, or just interested onlookers. And then there are some who compare Ecclesiastes and the Song of Solomon in the following way. Ecclesiastes, they say, would represent the thinking, the intellect, and the reasoning of man, while the Song of Solomon represents man's emotions, his feelings in response to what he has concluded. This may or may not be a proper conclusion, even though it does seem possible. Also know that there is no reference by Christ or any New Testament writer in this book. God is not mentioned directly in the book, only in an indirect way one time. Literally, it describes in graphic detail the beauty of love in a marriage relationship. Maybe that is its sole purpose, is to show how wonderful this loving relationship can be. However, there are many different thoughts as to what this book is also referring to or what it represents. So, as we study and inquire about this book, then process the information and come to conclusions, what can we say about the Song of Solomon? In chapter 8 and verse 6, it tells us that love is strong as death, and that jealousy is cruel as Sheol. And then in verse 7 we learn that many waters cannot quench love, and that love cannot be bought with money. And I believe that it's true that it may typify or represent the beauty and the strength of God's love for His people as the Jews have thought for years. Or it may even represent Christ's love for His church as we compare it to Ephesians chapter 5. Song of Solomon may also be translated Song about Solomon. What an interesting book.